Jewelry, by BDK, handmade magic in every hue, color in the beat, story in the line, art on your skin, let your spirit shine. Jewelry by BDK, bold, divine, crafted with love, one beat at a time. Wear your truth, let your style speak loud. This is jewelry by BDK. Stand strong, stand proud.
So you know how I'm always talking about sauce items, how you can make those little pieces where you can charge a little bit of nothing for them. You could even come up with some $5 items if you wanted to come up with some $5 items. You can come up with $12 items that would be considered sauce items. Generally, we have items at our tables where they're high ticket items pretty much, right? But every once in a while, or all the time, you want to have a product at your table that is a low ticket item. It's high quality, but it's a low ticket item. So for this particular event that I'm going to go to, their color is purple, right? So they want anything and everything. They don't care, but their color is going to be purple. That's their organization's color is purple. So, okay, that's all I need to know. So on top of everything else that I'm going to be taking with me, I'm going to make these are going to be considered sauce item necklaces on this little chain right here, which is not a very expensive chain at all. Got it at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to use some of the blanks that I painted, right? And turn these into little charms. And I'm going to go ahead and make some 18-inch necklaces. I'm going to make about maybe 10 of them. So I'll have 10 at the table. And the 10 that I'm going to have at the table, I'm going to make them $12 each. The reason why they're going to be $12 each is because you can charge more for them. But remember, whatever you would charge for these, if they were 22, if they were 25, if they were 28, if they were 32, if they were 45, it just depends on the market where you're selling at, right? Somebody had asked me that about the market where you're selling. So in New York, I got an invitation too. It's a big event that they do in New York. I forget it's some type of festival that they do. And it is for a nice number of days, right? And they charge you buku money to like sell there, okay? So when I say the market where you're selling, that type of market is where you can really, if your quality is good quality, is where you can really mark up your prices, because that's the market. So if you sold something like this at a market, might be a pop-up shop, and not this particular charm, but if it were a necklace, right? $12 a necklace. And you were selling at a pop-up shop somewhere that was locally, that type of thing. And you can say, oh, okay, well, I can charge $12 for it at this particular market. Oh, but you know what? The pop-up shop in La Jolla, I can charge $25 for it, right? I can do that because of the clientele of people that will be there. The financial, disposable income is a lot more than what it would be, let's say, if you go to Plaza Bonita area. So if you go to Plaza Bonita area, you might sell these necklaces for $12. You go to La Jolla, you might sell them for $25. You go to Del Mar and further Carlsbad and maybe somewhere up in there, you might sell them for 36, 48. It just depends on it depends on the market. It depends on where you are selling, because people will ask me that all the time about, well, how much? I can't tell you how much. I can't tell you how much. I don't know what you pay for your materials. I don't know how much time you put into things. I don't know what market you're going to be selling at. Nobody could tell you how much to charge for anything. And if they're doing that, they should not be doing that, because nobody can tell you what to charge for your product. Now, there is different formulas that you can use to price your product. And I got ebooks on my website that you can go to and check out those ebooks, right? But nobody can tell you what to charge for something. They can't just say, oh, well, Darlene, go ahead and charge $36 for that. And my question would be, well, why would I charge $36? What makes it worth $36, right? Not even knowing how much you pay for the paint, how much you pay for the wire, how much time you put into it. Like, there's a lot that goes into the little formula, right? So you got to be figuring stuff out for yourself when it comes to prices. But anyway, back to this. So their color is purple. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and make some little sauce items. And the little sauce items are going to be these little $12. I'm going to charge $12 for them. That was my point. I'm going to charge $12 for them. I could charge more for them, right? But I'm not. Okay. And another reason why I'm not is because the chips I got at no cost, right? So the chips I got at no cost. So if you get something at no cost, you can absolutely make those little things a sauce item. Not unless you just really don't want to. But for me, the logic in it is, okay, I didn't pay anything for them. I spent pennies to paint them. I spent pennies to wrap them with aluminum wire, right? And it's going to take me seconds to throw it together. So I'm going to make a $12 sauce item from it, right? Now, had I paid for these, they would be more than $12. I would probably hitting like maybe 15. So they would probably be 15, and I can charge more for that, 22, 28. It just, again, depends on where you're selling it, right? So if I'm going to do 15, but let's say I really want to get 25 off of them, right? But I'm at the event, let's say I'm just going to charge 15. So the other $10 is taken away off of it, and then it's applied to something else that is being sold. So you can divide up that $20. I think it's 20. Yeah. Divide that $20 up, break it down, and apply it to that many other pieces. And then that way you're not losing, your money. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap one of these. I think I got a video showing how to do this, but I'm going to start this from scratch. So I'm going to take my wire, and I think I'm going to do it at the top right here. So I'm going to take some aluminum wire. I'm going to go ahead and put this wire through here. And we are just, I think I cut too much. So we are going to fold that wire like that. Take the shorter piece of wire like that and start wrapping it around the longer wire. At least 3 times. 1, 2, and that's 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that extra. Take my pliers. Make sure that little extra piece is closed all the way down. And this is how that is going to look. Now, when I do that, it is going to be loose because, oh, hold on a second. Yeah, it's going to be loose until I hold it and wrap it. So it should look like that. I'm going to pinch it, fold the wire down like that. Go ahead and wrap it. So I need to hold it up here because you can see it keeps going to side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when I wrap it like that, it makes it sturdy right here. So now I'm going to take the wire. I'm going to go down around this little piece right here on the side. And then wrap up some down here at the bottom. Go here on the side a couple of times. I think I'm going to come back across right here. And then bring that wire up and around. And this is what it starts to look like. Nice little charm. And then I think I could just go ahead and use all this. Make it nice and thick. So I'll take the end of the wire. I'm going to fold it down like that. You can see how it's folded down. Now I'm going to do is take that part I rolled, and tuck it inside of that open part. And take my pliers, go ahead and fold it down in there, and it's tucked inside that hole. So you don't see anything, you can't feel anything. And I use it with rubber crosser like this, just so I can make sure I don't feel anything sharp, which I don't. And then this is what the charm looks like, right? So we can take this now and turn this into a really cool, I need to order some other cord though, some leather. So we are just going to do it like this. We'll put this on here. I do need to go, I'm going to run out later on and go to Hobby Lobby, because I want to get some of the really small, not small, but the smaller lobster clasp. I don't want to put big ones on here because remember, they're sauce items. And with my sauce items, I don't spend a whole lot of money for them. However, I do make them the best quality that I can make them, okay? Because I want them to look good, but for a little bit of nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a... I'm going to hold this together with a jump ring. And then when I go pick up the lobster clasp later on, I'll just go ahead and finish these off. But for now, this is what they're going to look like. Just really cool, easy. And see, that's a really cool little necklace. So what I generally do is I dress it up. Like whenever I do a display, I dress my necklaces up. So this will be layered with maybe some beads, like the little beads, and maybe another gold charm or something. I mean, not gold charm, but gold chain and all that kind of stuff, where you also see this one. And then I generally will package stuff already packaged up. It'll be already packaged. I don't leave it just all out like that. You'll be able to see this like this. So you'll see this one. It'll be on display, but then all the rest of the necklaces, so once I get them done, they'll get packaged up. And then if somebody chooses to buy something, it will be already packaged. You don't have to package it up. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. It's already ready for them to just grab and, you know, keep stepping. And this is what we're going to do. So we'll have a nice number of these. And you can see how cool that they look. You know, just using this cheap wire. Got you some, and you can get some of these already painted and already wrapped off of my website. And if you want some blanks, the actual blanks where you want to paint them yourself, there's a link in the description down there. So already painted, already as charms, you can go to my website. The link is down there. Or if you want just regular blanks, there's a link that will direct you to that website. So this is basically what they'll be and how they'll look. And I'm going to make about 10 of these. So I have about 10 of these, have them already packaged up. And then on top of that, you already, you know, then you'll have all your other goodies. So these are just something like really simple, really easy ideas to have. I got some more chain, so I got to cut the more chain. But this is just to give you an idea. So sauce items, we always talk about sauce items, and it's like, okay, well, what kind of sauce item can I do? And a sauce item is something that you got. It's the more than likely the lowest price item at your table. It's attractive, it's high quality, it looks good, but you're not spending a whole bunch of money to make it. That's a cool thing. You're not spending a whole bunch of money to make it. However, it looks high quality, right? You can buy beads from Hobby Lobby, those little container of beads that they have in all them different colors and stuff, and they get it when it's 50% off. And you can make like really cute dangle earrings. You can make really cute little bracelets. You can make, just little things. You can turn them into little pendants and make charms, or do something really cute with those, like a one bead pendant, and then hang them for something. People like simple like that too, and do things like that. And you can charge $5 for those things, right? And you barely paid anything for, what is that, over 1,000 beads or something. And sometimes you just got to be figuring some stuff out, because I do know people go home with a lot of what they go with. And sometimes it's the prices, and sometimes it's the prices and the quality is not really good quality, right? Or you can have the best quality, but the prices be through the roof because you're at the wrong market with those prices. So you got to make sure that you marking them prices and accordingly to the market. And if it's a market that is not going to yield you what you want for any one of your pieces, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that market. That's the whole thing about it. And remember, nobody could tell you how much to charge for what it is that you spend your time making with your hands, the materials that you buy, the labor that you put into it. Nobody could tell you that. There's different formulas that you can use to try to figure those things out. And you do want at least 2 times, at least 2 times profit, 3, 4, or 5 if you can get it, dependent on the market. And you can get it. It depends on the market. Depends on the quality. It depends on the market. It depends on the quality. A lot of people are trying to sell at places where the market ain't the market. Nobody has disposable income like that, and your prices are through the roof. And how do I know that? Because I walk through a lot of these places, and I walk through a lot of them, and you got these vendors up in here, and you got something for $65, but you're in an area where their household income might be $22,000 for the year, and that's a single mother with 5 kids. But you got something for $65. It's like, that's just not going to work. And does it draw other people to a certain, vending area or event and stuff? It does. But again, how many people are going to buy something for $65? Come on now. You got to consider the market. You got to consider the quality. You got to consider your product. You got to consider a lot. And if you're selling something that's different than what everybody else is selling. But anyway, I know a lot of people are getting ready for Juneteenth and stuff. I have seen so much stuff that's red, black, and green. And I'm thinking, so if you're at an event, because you see it every year, if you're at an event and everybody got red, black, and green, I may not want red, black, and green. Because I just don't do red, black, and green like that, right? I don't do red, white, and blue. I don't do, them colors like that. So if I'm at an event and it's a Juneteenth event, I don't want Juneteenth stuff. I just don't want Juneteenth stuff. That's just me. I respect the Juneteenth and everything about it. I just don't want Juneteenth jewelry or Juneteenth anything. I just don't want it. I mean, that's just me. And I know a lot of people that are like that. So if I'm coming, I want to see something different. Now you can have Juneteenth in addition to others, whatever, for people like me and for people like that I know, right? So everything is locked into just Juneteenth. And I'm like, man, people just making their whole collection Juneteenth, and that is all they're going to be selling. That's not a good business strategy. That's not a good business strategy at all. But anyway, Darlene and I for Jewelry by BDK. And guess what? We'll talk.